Hey everybody, welcome back to the Old Swedes Farm. It's Rich and Holly. We have got cabbage that is good, that is done, it's ready to harvest, and we're going to make some sauerkraut today. We're going to show you two different ways to make sauerkraut. One that's fermentable and one that is just pickled, kind of pickled in the jar sauerkraut. I'm going to first get these things cut off, and it looks like we might have some little cabbage butterflies that are in here too. I see some little droppings, but look at these heads. These things are, these are monstrous heads. But let me get 3 heads. We'll get these established or cut up and get the leaves to the girls. They're gonna love a big treat tonight. And then look at this, Hal. We're gonna have holes that we can plant more.
Yay!
All right, everybody, give us a second. We're gonna harvest these big things, and then we will be into the kitchen. Hey, everybody, we got 4 beautiful heads of cabbage. Unreal. So we've never grown cabbage before. When we've used it, we've bought it. So this is an adventure. It's like we did it. We did it all. It's always fun to see that it turns out like you're supposed to. Like I said, we're going to make sauerkraut 2 ways. One is fermented, one's not. We've got some jars, some quart jars, sterilizing right now in the water. And I'm just going to cut this up and show you what we need for the base product. Then we're going to bring you back and show you how you need to do it. So what I'm looking for is thin pieces of cabbage. How I cut up the cabbage, and there's probably 100 ways to do it, but I hate, oh, that's beautiful, isn't that? Look at that. I quarter mine. So let me show you one. Man, that's gorgeous. Quarter it up, and then take the heart out. You just don't want any of that in there. Beautiful. Now that we've got that, now it's just a matter of thin shred. Actually, I like mine a little thicker than some people do, but I'm not afraid of having thin pieces either. When sauerkraut's good, throw that on a brat or a sausage or something. Oh my. And homemade is the best. So all I'm doing is cutting it up. You know, some of these thick pieces I'm not fond of. So let me get this cut up, and we're gonna put her in here just to, what I'm gonna need to do next is I need to weigh it. So we need to have some fairly exact proportions. So let me do this, let me get it all cut up. Let's get things sterilized, then we'll bring you back and show you what the steps are to make the 2 different types of sauerkraut. Alright, we have cut a lot of cabbage. Here's our recipe for the fermented. We're going to ferment it in this big glass jar. 5 pounds of cabbage. It was about 2.5, wasn't it about 2.5 heads?
Yeah.
Something like that. 2.5 heads, and then we're going to use 3 tablespoons of salt. What we're going to use the salt for is to draw out all the moisture, and we're going to get it in here, because this wouldn't fit right now. We're going to draw it in, we're going to crunch it down. We'll start right here. I'm just going to get some on there, and I'm going to start working it in. This is a labor-intensive recipe. You just want a little bit, because this salt is going to, well, we use it all up, but a little bit at a time. And we're going to use this to draw out all the fluids, and you're going to see what happens. Because you know cabbage, when you first cut it up, yes, it's got some moisture on it, but it's dry. There's no fluid. So we're gonna work this, and it's like, I don't know if you can hear that. As I'm crunching it down, this is like middle of February in Minnesota. You're walking out in the snow, and it's crunching. You're getting all that crunchiness, but you know underneath there's all that moisture. So I'm going to take all this salt and I'm going to continue working this. This is going to take, I don't know, half an hour or so to really get that salt in there, get it starting to pull out all the fluids, and then we're going to put it in there and do the final step. So stick with us, we'll be right back. Okay, we're back. We've been chopping. We've got 4 quarts that are full of our chopped cabbage. We filled them up to the bottom of the neck. We did add a little bit of caraway seed to it, but now this is really where it gets simple. We've got a teaspoon of salt, and this is pickling salt or canning salt, or you could use kosher salt. Don't use regular iodized salt. We've got a teaspoon of sugar in each one. And we've got a teaspoon of white distilled vinegar. That's what's going to give it that tart. In this version, that's what's going to give us the tart. Just a hair under on each one, I can see. Okay, so we've got that. The rest of what we're going to do is just fill it up with water. And I know Holly's got a funnel here somewhere. Where is that
it's
funnel?
just alongside the refrigerator.
There it is. That would make life easier for me because my aim is not good. So we're going to fill that up. And it's taking all the salt, vinegar, taking everything right down to the bottom, mixing it all up. I'll make sure I'm aiming right here. Just a hair more. And that's easy. We take that, got the lid all clean that we had. We put this on, and these have already been sanitized as well, sterilized in the water. Get that on. I'll do the same with the other 4. 20 minutes in the water bath, bring them out, let them pop, and this is done. This is done. This can be lasting for a long time. Let's cut for a second and I'll show you the almost finished product. This, when we pull it out, will be the finished product. The other needs to ferment a bit, but let's come back to that in just a second. All right, step whatever, 5 or 6. This has been at least a half an hour. I've been working it. Where before it was just, come on in here close, where it was just dry cabbage. Look, can you see all the fluid down in there? Mm-hmm. It is really ready to go in here. So
and
now
this was the 2 bowls that we saw earlier.
2 bowls of
the 5 pounds.
5 pounds is now compacted down to that. It's releasing all the liquid in there, the water that's inside it. Now we're going to transfer. Here's our fermentation vessel. What we're going to do is, I've brewed beer for a long time. It's not brewing, but we're using a wild lactobacillus that's going to help break this down, ferment this cabbage, and turn it into fermented sauerkraut. And I'm not sure what I think this is the traditional sauerkraut in the sense, probably the oldest method. You know, they didn't have all the pickling and this and that way back. Look at all the liquid. We're going to put that in there. You get all this. What we need now is to continue to extract any liquid out of this. You can use your hand, anything, but you're going to continue working this down for a while. until the fluids are above your cabbage. So continue working it down. We want to get it so that the cabbage is not exposed to the air. It's going to be in there. So you're going to really be working this for another half hour or so. I've got a couple of the cabbage leaves that I'm going to use just on top of it to kind of give that gap. And then we've got a Ziploc baggie full of brine that we're going to use to put on top to keep the weight down, pushing it. If for some reason there is a leak in the bag, that's why we put brine in it, not just water. Have I forgotten any steps? Okay.
No.
I think we're good. So I'm just going to keep working this down. I think what we'll do is a second video to show what's happened in another week or so. I don't know, can you get close enough to see all the liquid that's in here?
I was gonna say, I think you're almost ready to.
It needs to get, we need to get standing liquid on top. I don't want any exposed. During the fermentation period, if there is any time where you've got a little bit of white crust or something, you can just remove that. That's fine, and then put everything right back. If you smell a really funky odor, you know, not a sauerkraut funk, but because this will get funky, but if you smell something bad, check it, and if it's gone bad, I mean, get rid of it. You do not want to get sick, but this should be a natural process of fermentation to get you a beautiful kraut with that funk. Then we'll can it, put it in or put it in jars, put it in the fridge, and it's good. So there's our two kinds of sauerkraut. This is going for 20 minutes in here, the 4 jars that we had, and this I'm going to continue working on and then get that airlock on there, and we should be in good shape. So thanks for watching, everybody. If you got questions, throw them down below. We'll do one more video to show the final process on this, but that's a couple weeks down the road, so part 2. But if you got questions, throw it down below. Thanks, everybody. Take care. All right, everybody. We're not done yet. I had to film one more. I forgot a couple things. You know what? The reason that this is so beneficial, this fermentation, is that lactobacillus that's in there. This is all your probiotic. Here's your gut health right here. Not that this is bad for you. I think both of these are going to be awesome on a sausage or something. We're going to be eating well. But we just got this done. 20 minutes in the water bath, and you can see how much it did shrink down. And we worked over this kraut here, getting ready to ferment for about another 20 minutes or so. Got everything pushed down, got that layer of water on top. We did put 2 leaves in, 2 cabbage leaves in, and then put the bag on top of it. So all of our kraut, or all of our cabbage right now, is completely submerged. This is going to be good. We've got enough liquid in here. You want that airlock. You know, we're trying to keep the liquid in there to keep any interaction, get the fermentation going. We're going to start seeing this bubble here probably by tomorrow morning. You want to keep this somewhere between 60, 75 degrees. I'd say that 70, 75 degrees is your optimum. And then everything's going to just start going, and we're going to start seeing it compress. And we'll do a follow-up video in 2 weeks on this, because this is fun. This is alive. I really dig fermentation, whether we've made beer, we've made wine. Holly got me a kit, and I haven't gotten into cheese yet. I'm a year later. Sorry, honey. I love fermentation and what it does to stuff. And I'm just getting a kick out of, you know what, in early March, these were a few seeds, and now we've got 4 quarts, and I don't know how much this will yield, but probably a couple more quarts at least. So 6 quarts of kraut after not quite 4 months. So darn it, I love gardening. So anyways, some of this is going to be set aside for February, for our $50 February, but Just want to give the final update, other than we'll do one in a bit. But we got 4 quarts and this hot dog. Thanks for watching, everybody. Take care.